I saw an article pop up, and I actually am going to name the person that wrote this article. Her name is Brittany Williams. Never heard of her, but she wrote this article about the plastic surgery trends that we need to leave in 2022, according to the experts. And I'm quoting experts here for those who can't see me. And I was really excited to read it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to rank each one in do I agree with it, and do I think it should even be on the list? Because, I mean, those are two separate things.
For sure.
Okay, so as we all know, plastic surgery is big, and everything trends, right? There's all these social media trends in plastic surgery, and we talk about all of them, and some of them totally suck. All right, so which ones are good and which ones are bad? Well, these are the ones that the experts think are bad. So number one is the fox eye thread lift. And I could have sworn that we did a segment on this, and I went through every episode and we didn't. But what happened is I actually, when I was doing the media interviews for these different places, I had a couple people ask me to talk about fox eye thread lift. And then I thought we did a segment on it, and we didn't. So have you guys heard of fox eye thread lift? You know what it is. Travis, heard of it?
I have not.
Okay, so fox eye thread lift. So there's this trend on social media where people were getting their eyes to be more kind of almond shaped, where they were less rounded and kind of pulled to the side. And people were actually getting procedures done to make that happen. And they were doing it by running suture from the edge of the eye towards the side of their face. And that thread was pulled tight to make that look, and it gives you this semi-permanent to permanent kind of result. And so there was a couple of people on social media that had it done, and of course everyone talks about it. And I went on to say that I do not think you should do this. I mean, there's very, very few plastic surgeons that like threading as a procedure because those threads do have the potential to get infected. And when they get infected, it sucks to get them out. Like you literally have to make cuts in your face to get them out. Plus the results are kind of ho-hum. I mean, I just was like...
you said semi-permanent, and I was like, that doesn't sound like something I'd want to go through just for it to
because eventually the stitches kind of will fail. I mean, there's just a lot of problems with the fox eye thread lift. And so I was uniformly against that. So when I read that, I was like, okay, we're starting out like good. Do I agree? Scale of 1 to 10, 9.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like horrid if somebody does this. I just really, really don't think that you should.
Did you know that there's like clips that women can buy or like whoever and like just like clip it and like?
I've heard of that.
So weird. It's crazy that it actually works too.
Yeah, we should check
it's
that
intense.
out.
I saw a TikTok of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Like it's non-permanent, right?
Yeah, but it's just crazy how it changes your face.
Totally, man. Like you pull it out, it's like a facelift. Well, except this is kind of a facelift in one area. So do I agree? 9. I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. Should it be on the list? Yeah, I think so. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Okay, next one. Dermal fillers with foreign substances. So we just talked about this.
Foreign substances right off the bat just does not sound like
Cardi B, right?
Way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
We literally just talked about this 2 weeks ago.
The caulking gun really drives this one home.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, what picture can I use for this?
It's like you put the Home Depot.
I thought about doing Home Depot. Yeah, I thought about getting Home Depot. Right.
I'm gonna go get my butt bigger.
So I mean, we just talked about this with Cardi B's whole thing. I mean, do not. So the normal fillers are like hyaluronic acid. Okay, that's the acceptable filler. I mean, don't use some crazy wonky thing. I mean, it just goes without saying. So do I agree with this? I gave it a 10 out of 10. I'd give it an 11 out of 10 if that was a score. But the thing is like, do I think it should be on the list? I mean, I gave it a 6 because, I mean, this is not a huge problem. And I don't know if it was a trend either. I mean, you occasionally hear these stories of people getting weird injections in a basement or someone's garage, but like I wouldn't say it was a trend. So although I totally agree with Brittany, what was her name? Brittany Williams? Brittany Williams. I totally agree with you. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't put that one on my list. So, all right, next was filler, overfill, overkill.
Sheesh.
And so, to be fair, I think this person had some post-op swelling or something.
An infection.
But we've all seen those pictures of people that get too much filler.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over the internet, and I know we've talked about it. I hate
super unnatural.
Yeah, I hate that. I mean, I've said this on this show one time. I've said it a million times. The best plastic surgery is a plastic surgery that no one knows you've had. If someone looks at you and says you've had a lot of work done, then that's bad work, right? And so. Do I agree with this one? I gave it a 9 out of 10, and should it be on the list? I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, she's right. Overfill, I don't know what it is, but people sometimes go overboard with fillers, and it's just not
I feel like that's happening a lot with celebrities. It's like, oh, they're starting to look really old, but it's like, which type of old are they looking? Are they looking like really old because they've had so much work done, or are they just looking old because they're just not aging well? So it's like, I don't know.
I know it, right? I mean, we pulled up so many celebrities over the episodes. Yeah, you're totally right. It's like someone gets that look, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know how old they are, but I know they're old because they wouldn't look like that if they didn't.
Yeah.
If they weren't, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is actually very interesting. So for number 4, she said, choosing a plastic surgeon based on social media pics. And I'm going to add to it pics or presence, like meaning not, but like how much they're on there.
I know this is SpongeBob, well, Squidward, but the cartoon is SpongeBob. I remember this one from childhood.
12 has nailed it, yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, I was looking for one. There was a plastic surgery SpongeBob one I was looking for, and then the Squidward popped up. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk about this for 1 second. So, I mean, she said choosing a plastic surgeon based on their before-after pics on social media. I mean, I would say yes and no, because I do agree that almost any plastic surgeon will have at least a couple of good pictures out there. And so if you're relying on like one picture you saw on social media for some plastic surgeon, is that your sole reason for going to them? I agree 100%.
Yeah.
That being said, having reviewed lots of plastic surgeons' befores and afters, there's plenty on there that I would never post. Like, I mean, I do think that if you look far enough through their website and through social media, like their Instagram befores and afters, you can get an idea of like what kind of work they do.
Yeah.
I mean, if 9 out of the 10 pictures you see you like, then they're probably doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And so I kind of disagree on that one. I kind of expanded it out to like, should you pick your plastic surgeon based on their social media presence? I mean, as somebody who's on social media a lot, I mean, you might think that, I would say yes, but I mean, I would say not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the doctor was it last week that we talked about the girl that was TikTok famous that was perforating people while she was lipoing?
Yeah.
Was that last week?
That was, it was, I believe.
I mean, that girl was all over social media. Like, I mean, she had way more followers than I had. And like, obviously she wasn't doing the best work ever.
Yeah.
So on the other side of that coin though, if you heard of a plastic surgeon and you went and they had zero social media presence, I would also be worried, So I think that social media gives you another tool to evaluate a plastic surgeon. It shouldn't be the only tool. I mean, you should look at their befores and afters on their webpage, their reviews, both online and from people you might know, like how you feel about them when you go do the consult.
I was about to say, like, personal referral.
Personal interaction. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. So, if you're solely picking someone based on a pick off social media, I guess. So, I mean, my ranking on this one was all over I ranked it from 5 to 10, depending on what we were talking about. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot to learn from that. I do think that should be on there. I think it should be on 10 out of 10 as far as being on there.
Yeah, social media is just a big part of life now.
It is.
But it's not everything.
It's unfortunate that, like, and I think I've said this before, that when I started my practice in 2010, it was kind of a time when there were plastic surgeons out there that didn't have a webpage. Nowadays, if you don't have a webpage, you're not.
What?
Yeah, you're not a plastic surgeon. Fast forward to 2022, there are plastic surgeons that don't have a social media presence, but that day is quickly going away. Like, yeah, if you in 2 or 3 years, if you don't have a social media presence, plastic surgeon, you're gonna not be doing any work. So, all right, the last one. You guys are gonna love this one. Number 5. The Brazilian butt lift. Dude, when I saw that, I was like, this girl knows what's up. You guys, we've talked about the BBL.
You know what's funny is that picture, I have a sparkly dress like this at my store.
Oh, do you?
It's a short one though. But
have you recreated that picture?
No, I wanted to because.
Do it. That'd be hilarious.
Because I wanted to do it with wine, but like Photoshop it because of the wine tour on the square.
Dude, you should totally do that. I will help you do that. I'll bring all my.
I thought it would be funny.
If you want to pull that off, I will help you.
Next year, maybe.
That would be hilarious.
Because this past wine tour was like shimmery for like.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that the one that I went to?
No, it was actually this past Wednesday.
Oh, during the holidays, man, I couldn't have made that one. Yeah, sorry. Was there a lot of people there?
It was fun. Yeah, I actually got to participate.
I'm going to the next one though. Remind me. All right, so. BBL is very popular. You hear about them all the time. And this article says that we should leave them behind in 2022. And I agree. I gave that a 9.5.
Really?
You know I don't like those. 9.5 out of 10. Forget the BBLs. Should it be on the list? 10 out of 10.
Get yourself a personal trainer and hit them squats.
Bam. Sarah nailed it. We've talked about that. We don't need to hash BBL over again. We'll do it another time.
We don't need.
So I really like that article. I loved it, actually. It was fun to read. It was fun to. I agreed with most of it. So that person did a good job.
I think it was super fun. I think.